cabin is going to have a post and beam style of floor system, and the overall structure will be post and beam, and it will rest upon a pole barn style foundation. So you'll see me marking out my corner holes that I will be augering out, and these holes will be filled with concrete, which will be encasing the 6x6 post that will be dropped down into them. Now these holes are about 5 feet deep and roughly 2 feet wide. As you can see, my lot here in the area of the foundation is relatively flat, and for that reason the skid steer and the auger attachment were perfect. Now if you needed to do the same type of pole barn foundation and you found yourself on more of an incline, you would probably want to use an excavator, as your attachment would be able to reach much further downhill or uphill in relation to the body of your machine. But again, for what I needed this for, this was great. I didn't hit any rocks, I didn't hit any roots, and I did this whole dig in a matter of hours. As you can see, if you were interested in building a fence, this would be an excellent setup, or again, maybe a combination of the skid steer and an excavator, depending on the slope or terrain that you have to build a fence in. But you can get these augers in several different sizes, and you know, if you were doing a regular fence, you could probably get away with a 1 foot diameter auger, and it would just really make your life easier. If you haven't spent much time in a skid steer or bobcat, I recommend you get one right away, or at least rent one and spend some time grading, leveling, moving trees, moving debris. It's amazing what these little machines can do. Considering the size and the maneuverability, these machines have a surprising amount of low riding weight, which allows them to really move a lot of stuff around, and they are fun to drive. Holes are dug. I'm feeling good about that. The soil was really easy to work with, so I've really lucked out here. I didn't hit a single rock. I didn't hang up on any roots. So it could have been much worse, let's put it that way. But honestly, the auger attachment on the skid steer was just a great combo and a really easy way to get this job done. I still have some loose dirt to take out of the bottom of those holes, but you know, always gonna have to put in a little bit of sweat. And what else? Well, my holes are right at 4 feet, a little bit deeper in some areas. Well, I was up against the task of having to remove some bit of debris that had fallen back into these holes while we did some brush work, and I fell some trees. And so we managed to catch a lot of debris down in the bottom of these holes, and also I wasn't able to get them completely cleaned out with the original dig from the auger, so I was dreading the idea of having to get down there with a shovel or a post hole digger or something like that, and it occurred to me that I could possibly use my shop vac and connect up some extra hose and duct tape it to a 2x2 that was about 10 feet long, and that saved my back and saved a ton of time. And it's just one of those fun and funny things you come up with on a job site sometimes. And now I'm just gonna kind of clear the other loose dirt away and eventually rake out the site, get it ready for batter boards and setting my posts.
Sorry.
Okay. Now remember, we want it to be straight, so you got to straighten it out, come forward, see how it's nice and straight. Now go down. More. Don't spin the auger until you're down inside. More. More. Put it down in. Again. More. 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 Stop there. Now dig. Now push down a little more. And keep pushing down while you dig. Okay, let's see if you got anything. Pull it out. Oh yeah. There you go. Now move it back over to the pit. Man, I think you're running this whole show by yourself, bud. All right. Okay, turn around. Okay, stop. Turn around, look behind you. Are you running this thing?
Yeah.
Love you, bud. There it is. Benny helped you dig that deep hole right there. Deeper than that. Might be deeper. I don't think so. How was that? Pretty cool? Worth the thumbs up? Come on out, bud. Time to get back home. So today I spent quite a bit of time taking down a couple old oaks that will be otherwise making me worry that they may fall down on the cabin at some point here. So I decided to go ahead and take those down. I grew up in the foothills of the Sierra Nevadas, and we would get some real heavy snowfall. And by heavy, I mean it was very wet. And then sometimes it would freeze a bit, and these horizontal branches, as they grow on these old scrub oaks, they just fall right off. And then occasionally you lose a tree too. So these look like they were kind of getting on in life. They were really reaching to find some light. And so I took those two down. I have one more back there, but not feeling super confident about taking it down as it stands right now. I need to go up and limb it a little bit. It has branches that go almost 30 feet back into the woods there. And if I take it down right now, all those branches are gonna buckle under the weight of that old tree. And that creates a bit of a pain in the ass for trying to clean up all the limbs underneath. They break. And this has also got a fair amount of rot at the base. It's kind of a sketchy tree. So I'm not gonna mess with that one right now, and I'm not worried about it falling this way later into the cabin, so it's off my priority list. But in the meantime, I do have another old fir right here, and it is looking scabby and a little diseased. It's still got some good foliage happening up top, but it's peppered with a lot of dead branches. And looks to be some sort of fungus, a lot of sap oozing out of this thing. I'm gonna take it down, and all of this wood is gonna be keeping us nice and warm, I think, for at least the next year or so. Of course, we'll have to cure it first.